Other questions?
How long are the sheet problem, or is the sheet problem gonna be? Is it gonna be one of those really, really, really long ones that has a bunch of different obstacles to go through? Or is it gonna be more of a, like, here's 5 different things?
It's pretty long.
Okay.
Sam asked how much stuff in the sheet problem. A lot.
For the graph one.
Yeah.
So will so you'll just give us the graph, and we have to be able to say, oh, it's gone this far at this point, and will we have to say, like...
No, that's a good question. I want a more general conceptual description. Or I'll give you a conceptual description, and you'll have to draw. Would you like an example?
Yeah.
All right, then. Preston? No.
Well, even if no one gets 100%,
Yeah, I doubt that anybody will get 100%. There'll be some kids who get A's. Why is it a foregone conclusion that somebody should get 100%?
Everyone fails.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Do you give the same exam like each year? So, like, do you have like an average of what kids usually get?
Sometimes I change things up a bit, but it's essentially the same. Yes, but I'm not going to tell you because it doesn't matter. Everybody does not fail it. There are kids who get A's. This is an honors class. You do not want me to curve this. You just want 3 points. Because if I curve it, well, yeah, if I curve it, 2 of you get A's and 2 of you get F's.
No, we never do that literally. It's the same thing as saying a test and like a quiz. It's just interchanging words.
So then ask that. Are you going to give us 3 points for nothing? No.
Are you going to come down on the points if no one's getting?
No.
Okay.
Can we treat this as an A test?
So good.
No. Oh, I see. You're asking for a free 5%. No. You should be well prepared for this if you were conscious while learning the material. And study. Study. Get together and study. Come to the review session tonight if you think that's going to help. Zach.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of
No, but you know what? You get a study session tonight, and my guess is 4th and 5th hour, since it's like, days away, they won't come. So that I'm doing this for you guys. Tonight is really for you. A lot of them won't come. How's 5:30?
45.
5:45?
How long are you gonna record the study session and put it online?
I'll try to remember to do that.
I know that I
won't be able to make it.
Is there any chance you could do it like that?
I don't really want to do it twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is 5:30, 5:45?
How long is it gonna be?
Okay. 5:45, okay?
How long is it gonna be?
It's as long as you guys want it to be, or until you start to annoy me. So, you'll be here in this room.
Will it just be like questions, or like will you like guide us?
I will guide you, and probably, since you're asking me about free response, I'll give you some sample multiple choice, so that's helpful, okay? It's an honors class, baby. Step up. And remember that you've had extra credit opportunities throughout the marking period, and you have quizzes that you get to retake. So here's my feeling about the exam. Your marking period grades potentially can be a skosh inflated if you are a hardworking, conscientious student, and I think that's great. But if you're really like a hardworking B+, A- student who gets A's because you're taking advantage of every opportunity, you might become an A- student after taking the exam.
I'm going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying
Megan's correct.
They're not naturally or genetically smart.
No, it's just does your brain work like physics? Does physics make sense to you without having to?
So if they're not naturally or genetically smart, you're
Well, there's some kids that are just not good at physics.
Yeah, so, but then like.
Yeah, it's not about smart. It's about are you good at taking physics tests without having to work real hard at it. Yeah. Drew. Then 40% of this test is going to be a little rough for you.
Everyone bring a dessert of their. I don't know. Can't really want to.
Yeah, you're not gonna bring in anything.
I'm going to go to multiple choice tonight, probably. Yeah. So 5:45 tonight is a review session. It is not required. Feel free to come. Who bugs me the most in this class? No, Preston doesn't really bother me. That Manraj bugs me a little bit. Although it's tempered by his wonderful big fluffy coat that I wear when he leaves it sometimes. Yeah, so if Manraj comes, probably hour and 15 minutes is all I can put up with. I'm teasing you. 5:45 till 6:45, 7. You can come and go whenever you want. Yeah. You can even wear a hat. You can wear a hat during the review session. It's not a required thing. You can wear. Oh yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. Who's an AP Chem in here? Hello. Oh, owie. Sorry about that, guys. Yes.
I forgot to tell you. For the rest of my day, no one told me to take off my hat.
What?
Oh, it's so bad.
I've been walking by Bloomgren.
So you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
I saw a kid this weekend at Papa Murphy's, which is that pizza place out by Pier 1, and they make like fresh pizza, so it takes a while. There's a reason for me telling you that. And there was a former student there that I recognized, but I couldn't quite place him. It was quite a few years ago that I had him in class. And then, the reason I describe it is you'll get it. So, when he was in school, he had like that purple-black dyed hair, like that really dark black, long, beautiful hair. I think he must have conditioned regularly. And it was shaved underneath so that on days when he felt like using a lot of product, he would, I'm not kidding you, literally spike it, and it was 12 to 18 inches off the top of his head. It was art. It really was. And he had lots of piercings, and he had finger armor. Finger armor, I don't know if that's the actual name, like rings that are like, yeah, they cover like your whole finger, and then things like poked out. And then on a really like big day, he would wear like spiky collars and chains and things. So yeah. So anyway, so he was not working at Papa Murphy's. He was there purchasing a pizza, but I did not recognize him because he didn't look like that anymore. He like just looked like like a normal person. His hair was not dyed. It was long, but it was pulled back in a nice neat ponytail. Oh yeah, and by the way, love this kid. He was just the sweetest kid. He had such a good heart. He was a true individual. It really was how he expressed himself. He was an artist. Really, really great kid. But I couldn't place him, and so he was talking to me, and, are you still teaching forensics? Wow, I really like that class. And I'm like, yeah, you. Because I could not, he looked so different, right? But I knew there was something I recognized about him, and then after he left, I was kind of like running his voice in my mind, and that triggered. So we've been talking about ways to trick your brain. So when he wasn't in front of me physically, I was listening to his voice in my mind. I'm like, Jared! And so what do?
You ran out to the
I chased him. And by the time I got to him, he was in his car with his girlfriend, I make him roll the window down, and I'm like, oh my God, and then I tell him like how I remembered him because he looks so different, and isn't it cool that your brain works that way? And because he knew me, he was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. And then I like did that awkward through the window hug thing. Oh, buddy, so great to see you. Glad you're doing so well. And his girlfriend was just like this the whole time. So the memory is an amazing thing. So just from being here and having a butterscotch right now, you pop that butterscotch in tomorrow, and it will help.
I'm gonna remember Jared.
And you'll remember Jared. Yes.
Jacob's broken nose.
Oh yeah. Oh, poor Jacob. All right.
This entire time. You've been recording this
That's
entire time.
fine. Go ahead. Yeah.
So when it's talking about the centripetal force, the number 9 centripetal force.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Where it's the force is equal to the force of the friction or the
Right.
force of the string or
Right.
gravity. What type of question would that be?
Well.
Like, how would it? Is it
So
just
this
around
is,
a curve?
yeah, that would be friction, right? Like a car moving around. So the friction is the centripetal force. Or if it were like a ball on a string, right? There's tension and gravity. Together make centripetal force, right? Because they both pull toward the center. If it's like a motorcycle that goes around a cage and we want to know, like, the question was typically what's like the slowest speed you could have, right? Then it's just enough to produce gravity, right? Equals mv squared over r. So those are the basic type of questions. And the pig question is the one with the triangle, but that'll be more conceptual. So that would be the type of math problems I would ask. Anything else? Go ahead. Sure. Collision on an angle is similar to what you saw in the marking period exam.
Yeah.
Is that enough for that, or do you? No. Okay. Are they? Yeah. I'll give you that much. So they come together to make a 3, and it goes like this, some velocity v. What's the horizontal momentum before collision? 4. So that's the horizontal momentum after collision, 4 kilogram meter per second. What's the vertical momentum before collision?
3.
Right. So what's the resultant momentum? 5. So the momentum is 5 kilogram meters per second. So what's the velocity? 5 over 3, right? Meters per second. Okay. And then typically I also ask you to find theta. Just make sure that you don't mix the velocity and the momentum in the same triangle, right? So this would be a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, not a 3, 4, 5 thirds right triangle. Make sense? It'll be this level of difficulty. The linear one could be a lot of things. So it would be like in a straight line.
Can you move it down, please?
Oh, yeah. Maybe velocity of 0. It could, a lot of different possibilities for after collision, but I might ask about like contact time and impulse. So if the two objects were in contact for a certain amount of time, what was the impact force? That's using this equation. Okay. If it were perfectly elastic, then not only is the momentum conserved, but this is also true. Remember that? Okay. So there's some more, this one's a little bit simpler because there's no angles, but then I could add in these other couple of concepts to take it up a notch. Okay. Perfectly elastic, this equation is also true. It's the relative velocity equation. So let's say that this velocity is 5 meters per second, and this is 0. That means after collision, the relative velocity will also be equal to 5 minus 0. Okay. Okay, we hit a lot of these. We really did. We talked about pulleys. We didn't talk about torque or universal gravity, but I think we hit just about everything else. In fact, we did. So tonight, if you come 5:45. Oh, shoot, we're supposed to be watching video announcements. I couldn't get it. Is that this? No, that was first hour. Did it work today? Did anybody watch?
They didn't have videos, not for example.